Have you ever noticed how some people can just walk into a room and own it without saying much at all? Most of us think getting respect is about being the loudest person, the most aggressive, or always trying to prove you're the smartest. But what if I told you the exact opposite is true? Well, today, we're going to flip that idea on its head and dive into some psychology that shows a much quieter, way more powerful way to get that instant respect.
So let's just bust this myth right now. You don't get respect by demanding attention. The reality? People are actually drawn to you when you understand the little hidden patterns of their own minds. See, true charisma, real authority, those aren't things you're born with. They are absolutely skills you can learn.
So, how do we actually do it? We're going to break down 6 really powerful techniques, and we've grouped them into 3 key areas of control. Our first 2 tricks, they're all about mastering the pace of every single interaction you have. And this isn't about being fast, it's about controlling the rhythm to your advantage.
Okay, let's start with an idea that might feel a little weird at first. Powerful silence. Think about it. Most of us are terrified of silence in a conversation, right? We rush to fill every single pause with anything, just because it feels awkward. But what happens when you do the opposite? When you embrace that pause, you're sending a subconscious signal that you are grounded, you're confident, and you are completely in control.
And you can start using this immediately with 2 super simple steps. First, when someone asks you a question, just take a deliberate breath before you answer. And second, after you make a really important point, just stop talking. That silence forces everyone else to actually process what you just said, and it gives your words incredible weight.
Now let's build on that with our second trick, delayed reactions. This is a little different than just pausing. When someone says something to you, you consciously wait just a second or 2 before you even start to form a response. That tiny delay creates a massive amount of what we call productive psychological tension.
And it really is this simple. Let them finish what they're saying, then take that one single beat of silence. That little micro pause makes people hang on your every word. Seriously, their brain's anticipation centers light up, and they end up remembering the feeling of waiting for your response just as much as the response itself.
All right, on to our next 2 tricks. These fall under the big idea of controlling the reward. This is all about understanding that your attention, your focus, and your time, they're valuable currencies, and you are the one in control of how and when you give them out.
This brings us to a fascinating concept called intermittent reinforcement. Here's the deal. If you give someone your 100% undivided attention all the time, they start to take it for granted. So instead, you aim for about 80%. You're engaged, but you seem just a little bit distracted. It's the exact same neurological hook that makes social media and slot machines so addictive. That unpredictable reward floods the brain with dopamine and keeps us coming back for more.
So how does this actually work in practice? Well, you're present in the conversation, but maybe your gaze occasionally drifts away for a second. Because they never quite know when they're going to get that 100% laser focus from you, they subconsciously start to work harder to earn it. Your full attention becomes this coveted prize. Here's a really interesting glitch in human psychology. We are all hardwired to fear losing something more than we value gaining something. You can use this by creating a fear of missing out, or FOMO, with your most valuable asset, your time. Stop offering up your time like it's a free, endless resource.
Just think about the difference in how that sounds. I Can Hang Out feels kind of easy, low value. But when you frame it as a specific, limited slot, like this example here, it makes your time seem scarce and in high demand. All of a sudden, people start worrying about losing that small window of opportunity, and that dramatically increases how much they value your presence.
And that brings us to our final 2 tricks, which are all about controlling your presence. This is about mastering your own internal state, your emotions, your voice, to project this unshakable aura of authority.
The world is just full of emotional reactivity. People get angry, excited, anxious at the drop of a hat. But by practicing emotional contrast, you stay the calm center in the middle of the storm. In any interaction, the person with the most stable energy automatically earns respect and is seen as the leader.
So when you react to someone's anger with coolness, or to someone showing off with just simple amusement, you're showing this rare level of emotional control. And people find that both admirable and, honestly, a little intimidating. They naturally respect, and maybe even slightly fear, people they can't emotionally manipulate. You basically become an unshakable force in the room. Finally, let's talk about your voice. It's funny,
The actual words you use are only a tiny fraction of your communication. It's your tone, your pace, your pitch, what psychologists call vocal dominance. That's what really conveys authority and commands respect. To get this, just follow these 3 steps. 1. Speak calmly and clearly. 2. Slow your pace down just a little bit. And 3. This is the most important one. End your statements on a downward inflection. This makes what you say sound like a fact, not a question, and it gives you this instant air of command.
Okay, so we've covered controlling your pace, the reward, and your presence. But what's the common thread here? There is one secret psychological principle that powers all of these techniques and makes them so incredibly effective. Let's pull back the curtain.
So here it is, the ultimate takeaway. Real authority isn't built on being charming or trying to get everyone to like you. It's built on your ability to create and manage psychological tension. Your silence, your delayed reactions, your unpredictable attention, every single trick we've talked about creates a subtle tension that commands focus and earns respect.
You know, when you learn to navigate the world with this kind of quiet control, respect doesn't need to be demanded anymore. It just naturally follows you. So as you look back at these techniques, which one are you going to start using today?
Whether it's embracing that powerful silence, using delayed reactions, or just controlling your vocal tone, mastering even one of these can fundamentally change how people see you. When you start to understand the human mind, you stop chasing respect, and you'll find it starts chasing you.